pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, December 13, 2022. The time being 6:30 p.m. The meeting of the Greensburg City Council is called to order. At this time, please silence all electronic devices. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that's available on the table in the back of the room. Amy, please call the roll.
Jamie Kane.
Here.
Rick Emsweller.
Here.
Kevin Fleetwood.
Here.
Diana McKenzie. Here. Darrell Poling.
Here.
You all should have received a copy of the minutes from November 9th, 2022. Any edits, additions, corrections? If not, take a motion to approve those as presented.
So moved.
Motion made by Darrell, second by Kevin. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay. November 9th, public hearing. Any edits, additions, or corrections? If not, take a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
Motion's made by Kevin.
Second.
Second by Rick. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Those abstaining? Perfect. The item of old business, last month Ron had talked to the council about the redevelopment commission's request for an additional appropriation to assist with the purchase of acreage for the street department, fire department campus. And that was approved on first reading as ordinance 2022-28. Kevin, you had asked about a redevelopment commission member being present. Ken Dornick is here with us this evening to represent them. Dr. Weigel was unable to attend. Did we have any further questions for Ron, the redevelopment commission, or?
I guess my comment was more along the lines that on that first reading, the importance of it, that I would at least thought that someone would have been there from the redevelopment commission to represent that. But looking back through the documentation, I mean, I don't have any more further questions after reviewing it.
If appropriate, or if wished, I'd take a motion to pass 2022-28 on second and final reading.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Rick.
Second.
Second by Darrell. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the first item under new business, Amy Romig is here with us this evening. This is a point of information for all of you, as she was here for the Board of Works, and I thought it was important that you hear from her about this topic, and then you had the opportunity to ask Amy questions. So Amy, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, my name is Amy Romig. I'm with Police Shedley, Racher, and Braun, and I'm an attorney who practices under the Clean Water Act. I was hired by the board and the mayor and the treatment works to assist them with some alleged violations by Valeo mechanics. In 2009, Valeo had approached the Board of Works and asked to rescind their pre-treatment permit, and the board agreed and said that they didn't need one as long as they operated a filter press. In an annual routine inspection by the treatment works at the end of 2021, they discovered that that filter press was not in operation, and they issued a cease and desist, stopping Valeo from discharging until these issues were worked out. We worked diligently through the year of 2022. We're now in December. Valeo disputes that failure to operate the filter press caused any problems with the effluent. The treatment works believe that it did cause them to use additional chemicals. However, it did not impact any discharge from the treatment plant. They still complied with their permit. It did not cause any harm to human health and the environment. But we do allege that because of Valeo's discharge, they had to work a little harder and spend a little more money in chemical treatment. We worked with Valeo to resolve it, and towards that end, the board approved a settlement earlier this evening, and Valeo indicates that they will sign it if approved by the board, which it was, resolving all of the issues between the parties and reimbursing the treatment works for the additional costs that we believe they incurred in paying a civil penalty. The total payment is $750,000. The first slug of that is supposed to be $275,000 paid by June 30th of 2023, with the remainder of the payment to be made on December 31st, 2023. In my experience and in my practice, this is a good settlement for both the town and for Valeo. It reduces the risk to both parties, which would have likely, had they not resolved it, resulted in a lengthy litigation that would have been costly to both parties and would have required experts to resolve. And towards that end, the board did approve it, and I'm here tonight to answer any questions you might have about that proposed settlement.
Amy, I said this to you in the previous meeting, but I'll say it again. Thank you for the help that you've provided to Superintendent Smith and us and the board as we've navigated this. You've been a great pleasure to work with and truly a professional in this space, so thank you for that.
Thank you. I welcome the opportunity and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Council, any questions for Amy? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a safe trip back. Okay, up next, Rich Starkey with Barnes & Thornburg, here to walk us through a couple more final items for the Fire Station Street Department, BOT. Good evening, Rich.
Good evening. Thank you. Richard Starkey with the law firm of Barnes & Thornburg. So, as I've been here several times, we're now at the very last step for the issuance of bonds for the fire station and for the Public Works building. So we plan at this point to go ahead and price the bonds on the 20th of December, and we're going to close on the 28th. And the resolution that's before you today is kind of the last little step here of, first of all, we're going to hold a public hearing on the build, operate, transfer agreement and approve the resolution which approves the BOT agreement with the preferred offeror. So it would be appropriate to open the public hearing and see if there's any comment.
Okay.
Make a motion, we open a public hearing.
Motion's been made by Jamie,
Second.
second by Adam. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Before I turn the floor over to the public, we also have Gary Smith with Reedy Financial Group, Max Adams with Barnes & Thornburg, Greg March with GM Development, David Rainey with Veritas, and of course, Rich is here as well. Anyone here to speak on this topic in our public hearing for the agreement to enter into the BOT transfer with GM Development? Hearing and seeing none, would take a motion to close the public hearing. Motion's been made by Darrell, seconded by Jamie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay.
Great, thank you. So the next step would be to approve the resolutions before you, and of course I'll be happy to answer any questions before that time.
Council, you've received a copy of 2022-15. Any questions for Rich on this? If not, would take a motion to approve 2022-15, which is the approval of this process and moves us to the bond closing stage.
Correct.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Kevin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Rick. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of the entire city, thank you to you and all of the teams that have been a part of this. I know we've been working on it for over a year, and we've got a long ways to go, but we're very excited to launch into this next phase of starting the construction process and moving us down this road. So thank you, and to everybody else who's here this evening as part of this project. I think the community appreciates the help, and I know that we do to take us to the next level. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Council, before any of them leave, any questions for them? Okay, perfect. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Clerk Treasurer Amy Borns, Ordinance 2022-29, creation of the Park Road Fund.
Yeah, so we have a project coming up that you are all aware of for the Park Road, and we needed to create this fund as we are going to be asked or expected to pay costs up front. We need to start putting funds away so that we have the money to pay out of that fund. So this is to create this ordinance with the help of Chris Steven helped to create this ordinance. It's just to create the new fund so that we can put funds into it.
Yeah, and to expand a little bit, it's statutorily, in order to have a place to collect the funds, you needed to have something created so that the State Board of Accounts can see it. This is essentially some place that you can start moving funds to for future capital improvement or capital outlays, many of which will be ultimately reimbursed and then redistributed back out once the reimbursement process has been completed. So,
I'll make a motion, we pass ordinance 2022-29 on first reading.
Motion's been made by Jamie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vieta. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Is this something we could suspend the rules on?
yes, I believe it is.
I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules on ordinance 2022-29.
Motion's been made to suspend the rules. Kevin has second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
I'll make a motion, we pass 2022-29 on the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been made on second reading by Jamie, second by Darrell. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Okay, 2022-16.
Okay, so transfer of funds, which is something that we sometimes need to do at this point in the year. There's a little bit more in one budgeted area than in another, so the good news is we actually only had 2 areas that this needed to happen. The first one actually being out of my office, and that's only because we were hit with a higher contract than we were ready for our civic, for our bookkeeping. So we needed to transfer some funds there. And then for the street department, we needed to move some funds for fuel, which happened to everybody this year. Wasn't necessarily, it's just something we weren't prepared for. So we have funds for that. Now, the next 4 that you see on here kind of goes back to the Park Road Fund creation. Except we were not sure whether this would get passed into readings this evening, so we went the safe route. This money is extra from LIT. The first 3 are from LIT, and then the 4th one is CCIF.
You're looking at 2022-16, there's only 2.
You have a different copy.
I do have a different copy, I'm sorry, yeah, you do want me to, here, I don't think I have it in here I can pass this down to you.
The one from your office and then the one from the street department.
Yeah, my apologies. So these last 4 are the ones, and they're all gonna go into rainy day fund. The original intent was that this money that was extra was going to go into the Park Road Fund, but we, first statutorily were allowed to move these funds into the rainy day. And we were not sure that this Park Road Fund would get passed into readings, so we didn't want to bank on that.
Is there a way that we could make an amendment to make this the Park Road Fund?
Yes.
So, well, it says that in here now, so, the way this is written.
So what,
But the numbers are not Park Road.
Okay. I
And
don't
we
know
have
what
to
those need to be, but I mean, I guess I wouldn't be opposed to making the motion to approve 2022-16 as presented here with the amendment to change the fund numbers to the Park Road Fund.
It was suggested by our financial team that we, for this year, that we go through rainy day.
so just for clarity, you wanted the money that we were going to put into the Park Road Fund, because the fund hasn't technically been established yet.
Correct.
Needs to go, we can put it into the rainy day fund, but then next year we will pull it out of that and put it into the Park Road Fund. But I want everybody to be really, really clear right now that that money going in there is intended to come out next year.
It's for Park Road.
Can I see that, please?
When we make a motion to pass it, we just need to make the amendment that we change that from Park Road to rainy day.
To rainy day, yes.
And these are funds that were budgeted for in 2022 that haven't been expended. So we're taking excess budgeted funds from this year and just setting them aside into this project fund for long-term savings that is dedicated to that project. So is that clear as mud?
Yes, I make the motion, we pass resolution 2022-16 with the amendment that we change Park Road Fund to rainy day fund. And you said the account numbers are all correct? for
The
rainy
account
day?
numbers are all correct. The only thing is that I had on there Park Road instead of rainy day.
Brian, did you have a question?
Say that again.
So I made the motion that we approve that with the amendment that we change where it says Park Road to rainy day.
But with the understanding that next year, we will move this into Park Road.
That doesn't need to be part of the motion.
That's not part of the motion, that's, yeah.
Correct.
Because we'll have to do a whole nother
We just won't be in the dark.
resolution for that.
Yeah.
Just for discussion, at what point do we foresee that happening, the January meeting, the February meeting, or?
Honestly, I foresee it probably happening more in a November or December meeting. So that we can see, it will be similar to this. We have what's left over in rainy day. What else do we have left over at the end of December to move into Park Road so that we have funds ready to go for the project?
Remember, we cannot get
Right.
into that. Earmark.
We'd
It's-
have to do additional appropriations based on our budget anyway.
Right.
We were gonna go and spend that out of there, so, yeah.
Yeah, and Ron, we will start incurring costs for Park Road next year through engineering. So that process may actually be earlier in the year because we will need to pay the engineering firm as we,
That would be my question, is why wait till November, December when?
it could be done anytime. And depending on Chief McNeely's HVAC project, which we've been trugging through, we will have to do additional appropriations in Q1 of next year anyway for that, which has always been expected. That wasn't built into the budget. So we could put it in with that as part of the process. Although we wouldn't have to do an additional appropriation, we would just have to transfer it, but then we'd have to appropriate it in that fund, yes. So, there's still a motion on the floor. Is there a second to pass this on first reading, the only
It's a
reading,
resolution.
with that
Just
amendment?
to change that.
That's the motion on the floor.
I'll second.
Motion's been seconded by Darrell. Any further discussion or question? You okay, Bobby? Good? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, resolution 2022-17.
This is for the additional appropriation. Sorry, this is for the additional appropriation for the purchase of the land.
Yes, so this is an additional appropriation because you have funds that are currently in general funds that would be available for transfer into the capital outlays necessary for the completion of the purchase of the real property associated with the fire station. So essentially, the money that the redevelopment commission is paying on a piece of property, you're paying the other portion of it, and it is the area that is near the fire station and public works building. So essentially, you're just moving you're moving it from the general fund into a capital expenditure fund.
Questions for Chris on this? It is the last piece of the puzzle, I think, on this project. If not, would entertain a motion to approve resolution 2022-17.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Kevin,
Second.
seconded by Vieta. Any further questions? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. And then final list of encumbrances.
Just because I'm second guessing, those did, I see a list of them over there. Okay, they did make it into the folder. We have technically 5, but it's for 3 projects. The traffic counters that were approved for Ron last month, the sirens that were appropriated or that were approved for Chief Sturmer. And then the interns project at North Park, we need to encumber money for the concrete and for the games. Those have not been completed yet. Yes, sir?
I spoke with O'Mara. It has been completed as of today. There's a possibility they could have you an invoice before the end of the year.
That would be great.
Board would approve it, and then we would need to encumber.
For which one of those is it?
Well,
The game pads
past the
only,
board.
not-
The game pad, yes,
Yeah, just the pad.
yes.
yeah, where it says North Park Concrete.
We should go ahead and encumber them,
I think we'll just.
and then that way we're
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, because we don't have another Board of Works meeting to approve that.
So, wow, do we need to identify them individually, or?
I think you just have to approve these carryovers, just as written.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 5 encumbrances that are listed for the traffic counters, 2 for the sirens, 1 for the North Park games, 1 for the North Park concrete.
Motion's been made by Jamie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Daryl. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, updates. Jamie, what works?
Amy came and talked to us about the Valeo issue that she discussed with all of us tonight. Mark came, basically got the approval to purchase a used truck not to exceed $42,000. I think he's got some different trucks that he's looking at to replace an older truck. There's been a lot of issues with that one, just trying to get through there. We also approved the purchase of some mowing equipment for some state right-of-way property, basically, that's gonna be $118,866.28. And then we approved the disposal of a 1999 truck that may be used as a trade-in for value, 2006 GMC, we're looking to open up bids for that one. And then the metal recycling of a frame for an old snowplow that's kind of been picked apart. Zeke Smith came and brought us basically an estimate for a bid for a property that we're looking to purchase, basically to have room to put a pump there. It's one of our biggest lift stations in the city, so we needed some room to put a pump there.
Jamie, if I may, real quick.
Yep.
We talked about that last month. It came in at
109,500.
So, and they've accepted that. We signed the agreement today. So, yep.
And then we accepted a bid from O'Mara for $887,000 for the UV disinfection system. Amy came, she's basically gave me the approval to dispose of some equipment. She's gonna look with nonprofits and schools. If you need a desk or you need some file cabinets, go see Amy, she's got some stuff for you there. And then just basically recognition of Dee Rust. So Dee is actually gonna be moving at the end of the year, and she will no longer be serving on the Board of Works, so. That's it.
Any questions for Jamie? Rick?
I did not make the last meetings.
It was very holiday walk specific. And we had a board training. We had a board training from the state and holiday walk specific. Holiday walk was a big success. Over 4,500 people downtown for that. And businesses claimed to have some of them had the best days in business since they've been open. And it seemed like a lot of people had a lot of fun. I saw you were there and Vita was there. What? I think that was it. Anything else? Kevin?
We had one item on the Plan Commission agenda. Whitaker Construction brought primary and secondary plat to the board for approval. Basically, it's off of Moscow Road, on the side where Vola Nursery used to sit. He had, I think, 30 plus some acres there, and he's splitting 10 acres out which was zoned R4 to build a market rate apartment complex. So that primary and secondary plat was approved, and so that was our one item already.
Okay.
I did not make the EDC meeting this morning. Did you?
I did. I always tell Brian, though, I don't know what to talk about out
It's
of that
hard,
meeting.
'cause it's like-
Economic development is alive and well. It's been busy. Brian and Jess are doing a great job. That's it. Okay.
It's so difficult to
Yeah.
talk about out of that meeting.
Yeah. They've had a very good year. There's still stuff to come for the end of the year, hopefully, and next year should be good as well.
Okay.
So, Vieta, solid waste. There were bid openings for the recycling, but no decision have been made, and those are under review. Okay.
Redevelopment Commission is alive and well, and Dr. White was, I'm sorry, I couldn't
Go
pass
for
that
it.
up. No, in all seriousness. Reedy Financial came and spoke to us to let us know where we stood for the finances, kind of a 10-year outlay, end of the year review, and we're very strong there. And of course, we're still moving forward on the new housing TIF district. Believe we're going to see some dirt turning hopefully early next year.
The Heritage Hills.
Heritage Hills District got approved too. Thank you, Council.
Besides all, animal control has a new board member that the county commissioners are appointing at the end of the year. That's, and Mindy's been working out there. They did have an adoption event last weekend. I think they adopted out 12, which is good because they have a overcrowding situation. So if you need an animal and will responsibly take care of it, please look them up. And that's all I've got on the rest of those as well. Anything else, Council? If not, I wish you all Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2023. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made by Matt. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.